Matt Rhule is the last name that seems to be the last one entered into the ring, into the hat.
Yeah,
That's a hot commodity.
yeah. The two biggest names that keep coming up right now would be Matt Rhule and Chris Kleiman. Some of those other candidates have kind of dropped off. I mean, Lance Leipold was very successful, and Kansas kind of dropped off, but then had a big time win again on Saturday. But Trev Alberts has a plan. I know he's talking to everybody, and right now, it would be nice to be a fly on the wall in Trev Alberts' office. Obviously, kind of funny too. I mean, last week, we were down, waiting for Mickey Joseph on Thursday for his post practice press conference, and it got leaked out that there was like an emergency Board of Regents meeting going on, an impromptu Thursday meeting, and a lot of the radio media kind of took off with that, thinking that there was going to be an impromptu press conference called, a day and a half before
I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really ridiculous. And I think that just got blown way out of proportion. But there was a nugget that I did get out of that, is that one of the associate SIDs that I was talking to Thursday morning did tell us that Trev is actively looking for a different spot, venue, around campus there to have the new head coach hiring press conference. See, they've always done, all the regular press conferences are done on the 6th floor, like your Monday press conference. That's done on the 6th floor of the press box. Now, when they've always done new hires, they always go down to the 3rd floor, the club level floor, where there's an open area, and there's concession stands there, which are not open when they're doing these formal press conferences. But so the last two that they've had there actually got really out of hand. There's so many people there, people dressed to the nines, all your boosters and everything that attend these. And the last two, basically, I'm talking about was Scott Frost being hired and Trev Alberts being hired. So it was kind of crazy because there's an open area there in this area that the 4th floor above it, you can look down on it. And so it was packed with people too. It was like standing room only. So they are looking for somewhere else where they can, because they're expecting a ton of people to attend this thing when it happens. So that's just kind of an interesting thing to me. I don't know, most people are probably just like, what's he's just babbling on about stuff. But they're all kind of just telling things to me that there's something's going to happen here. And like we kind of talked about last week, is that I expect, seriously, that Saturday after the Black Friday game with Iowa, that there will be a press conference either on Saturday or Sunday. And then you will know who the new head coach at Nebraska is. If it's Mickey Joseph, then I still think that they would announce that before the Iowa game. So that's what my sources say. That's what my common sense says to me as well.
If there are a number of guys that they're interested in who may be willing to leave or made available from another job, just right on that Saturday that you're talking about, though, don't you think it may be at least a few days after that? Meaning if there's somebody that still has a team right now.
No. I think they already have a guy in mind. A guy that either, because you see more times than not, well, maybe I'm wrong there, but you see a lot of times where, you've seen it here, that they've got a guy they're going to hire and they're going to do it as soon as the regular season ends. And maybe that guy stays with the program he's out for the bowl game. But you saw it here. It was kind of funny when Bo Pelini got fired, and they announced they were hiring Mike Riley, and Nebraska was in a bowl game that year, and so the whole month of bowl practices, you had Mike Riley and his staff watching Nebraska practice with Bo Pelini's assistants running the show. Kind of strange, but and then when Scott Frost was hired, it was still announced at the same time, and everybody knows that Scott Frost wanted to stay with UCF, because they were undefeated and finish out their bowl game and everything, and so it was still kind of the same thing with except Nebraska was still not practicing at that point for a bowl game and stuff. So they want to get in, and you have to factor in the early signing day coming up here. It's only like a month away. So you have to have something in place, to keep your recruits that you have and to keep the guys that you already have on the roster and give them, as much time to think about things, because, we all know in this day of age with the transfer portal, you can move whenever you want to. You can just say, I don't like it here anymore, and you're gone. So, yeah, no, they're doing this absolutely the first chance they get, when they can, because another factor that goes into this is retaining Mickey Joseph on this staff, regardless if it's the head coaching job or something else, because he is the glue right now that's holding together this recruiting class. And we keep seeing them. They keep signing guys, and they keep getting commits. It's crazy. So, yeah, for a team that's only got 3 wins, that's been sitting on 3 wins for how many years now, to still be getting quality recruits committed to your school, knowing that they don't win a lot of games.
Bo Pelini's 7th and last season was 2014. He got fired. They were 9-3. So he did not coach the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
Did the rest of the staff stay in coach?
Barney Cotton was the head coach that coached that bowl game.
Yeah, yep. I remember that game, 45-42.
Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
And you had Mike Riley up there in the booth watching it and being interviewed during the game, by the network that was carrying the game.
Yeah, so that was in 2014. Riley's there in 15 and 16, and they go to a bowl game one of those years, but not the other.
They were number 7 in the country that year. They were 7-0 to start the season, and were ranked in the top 10 under Mike Riley.
Yeah, well,
and then kind of floundered the rest of the way and ended up playing Tennessee in the Music City Bowl.
They floundered, and the schedule was backloaded.
Yeah. As soon as you had to play Ohio State and Michigan, you kind of came down to earth.
Mark, Brady Hoke is at San Diego State. Rich Rod fled to Cuba, I think, but I really think Zach Taylor or Luke Fickell.
You know what? The one name there, the last one that you mentioned, Luke Fickell would be the dream guy that you would want to bring in here. From what I hear, he's not really interested. He's not really interested in anything right now. But that's probably target number 1. A lot of the other names that are on that list too, some guys that Mark Stoops, but he's doing really well at Kentucky, and some of these other guys have kind of dropped off a little bit, but like I said, like your Lance Leipold's and guys like that. So it's just, I don't know. Credit to Trev Alberts for keeping this a lot under his vest, because I think I don't know. I think when the guy is named, it's going to kind of surprise everybody. That's just kind of the feeling that I'm getting out of the whole deal right now.